Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have another exciting episode in our series on 5.7 by 28 ammunition testing. Today we have 3 rounds from R&R Weapons Systems that we're going to be testing out today. We have our M&P 5.7. Should be a fun time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, we have 3 exciting rounds from R&R Weapon Systems out for shooting today. We have our M&P 5.7 and some of my previous testing with 5.7 ammunition, especially in our gel testing more recently. I've been shooting my rocks. Today, I just wanted to shoot the M&P 5.7. It's a super soft shooter. I love it. I took it out of my wife's bedside safe in order for us to bring it out on the channel because it's a fantastic pistol for someone who has sort of weak grip strength and doesn't like a lot of recoil. This system is fantastic. It really just kind of deadens the recoil. 5.7 is a very light shooting round, and then the gas system and operating system on this M&P 5.7 is just phenomenal. And also, I've seemed to have less problems with the M&P 5.7 than I do with my rocks. So that's the one that's used for self-defense in our household. So we have 3 potential self-defense rounds. We have a few different ones from R&R that they have sent out. And if you follow my channel, and you can go back and I'll leave a link for it, had some issues with it about 1.5 years ago. And I've been working with them to get some new rounds out for testing, and I finally got them in, so we're going to take a look at them. But first off, we have a new round from him. It's a 35 grain solid frangible. This thing's supposed to split in half and then create a couple of different wound tracks. And then we have this R37.FT. It's a 37 grain copper frangible. And then we have a 30 grain copper frangible. It's their IS130D. We're going to test it out in some of our more realistic gel simulations with MDF, with layers of t-shirt, layers of denim. Should have all the goodness that everybody keeps asking for. And I think that this turns out to be some fantastic loadings. We'll do some velocity testings with our Garmin, and we'll do some accuracy shooting with it. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. All right, well, we have our M&P 5.7. We're going to test 3 different bullets with our target that has 4 layers of clothing and then gel inside of it. And then after we test it with this, we'll test it with a 1/4 inch MDF in it. We like to do, or in this channel for variety, we're doing 2 inches of gel, then the MDF. Unlike Gun Sam, who does 3 or 4 inches of gel and then the MDF, this is no way meant to be a slight of him. This is just getting different data. So, but what we're going to try out today is we have the R35 frangible solid first. Then next up is the IS130D. It's a 30 grain frangible copper hollow point. And then we have the R37.FT, which is a 37 grain frangible tipped hollow point. So here we go. So up first is the 35 grain frangible solid. And unfortunately, we weren't able to capture it in the Garmin. This is one of the challenges with 5.7. Okay, next up we have the IS130D. It's a 30 grain frangible copper. All right. And then next up, we have R37. It's a 37 grain fragmenting tipped hollow point. Let's go see what happened. Well, wowzers, those look pretty impressive. So this was the first round that came in. It just tumbled. It really did not do any fragmenting at all. I think it says it's a frangible, but it ended up there. But those other two fragmenting rounds, holy crap, that's a lot of damage. They really did fragment, just both exploded. The 35 grain, 37 grain, actually one was a 30 grain and one was 37 grain, and ended up, let's see, at 13 inches and 16 inches, it looks like, of gel. So yeah, maybe 13 and a half and 16 inches. We have the cores out there, but just tons of fragmenting, tons of explosion and damage. All of that happened after the 2 inches. But interesting to see what happens now when we add this MDF, the medium density fiberboard. I'm going to flip this gel block around just so that the fragmenting happens at this end. We get some comparison. Okay, for the sake of consistency, we've got that 35 grain frangible solid that didn't do much, but let's see how it does with the MDF in it. All right. Now let's see the IS130D, which is the 30 grain frangible copper hollow point. Right, and next up we have the 37 grain frangible tipped hollow point. Okay, let's go down, see how they did. Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened here. Here is our board. So it looks like, you know, on those 3 rounds, one of them started tumbling. I'm guessing that's that frangible one. And when it hit that, it started tumbling. And we see that it kind of goes sideways. The other 2 must have exploded just after hitting the MDF, which is my concern with some of these frangible rounds. They'll impact and explode in front. And I've seen that in some of the Civil Liberty Civil Defense on Gun Sam's channel, but it makes me much happier to see the explosion after the quote-unquote bone example. And so we've got here what looks to me 2, again, fantastically explosive rounds going into here. I'm going to have to watch the replay to really get a better understanding of what happened. I do know that copper frangible round that started going first, it's down here. It looks to be smaller than the first one. So I think it broke in half and there's 2 pieces. So that's good, but it got caught up in the wound. As you can see, it was very close to some of these others. So it got caught up in the wound channel of the other one. It for sure came in sideways through here. Let me give you a top view of it. Okay, this is our top view. Again, one round here, just explosion. And we have a tip coming all the way out on that one. You can see we have a tip all the way out here for one of these coppers and another tip here. So one at 13 inches and one at 16 inches. That's very good penetration after hitting this MDF and solid rounds. I mean, those yikers, that's a ton of damage. All right, so first up we have their 30 grain projectile. We're going to shoot 5 rounds. Hopefully we get able to pick up on the Garmin. I'm in a little bit of a tunnel so that I can do lots of different shooting in here. It's sometimes hard for Garmin's, lab radars, other things to pick up these really light bullets. As you saw in the gel testing, I wasn't able to pick it up, but hopefully we get it here. 2285. And whatever reason, we didn't get a proper cycling. We're getting light primer strikes on these. This is exactly the issue that I had before. Another very light primer strike. We'll keep cycling with these, and then I do have my rock, and I do have a Ruger here today. Yep, not happening. The magazine is there, getting very, very light primer strikes. It does appear to me that these are in deeper. Take a look at that. That's too bad. This was looking like a great round. Too bad. Dang, dang, dang. Let's try again. Got that one. Did not pick that one up. And that one was a different round. That wasn't one of the ones from before. Still did not get more than 22.85. We got that one. 22.92. There we go. 22.67. Got another one. Now it has 2 light primer strikes on it. It's seated. It's all the way seated. We're letting it go home. There's nothing more to push. And we didn't pick that one up. So we picked up 3 of them. I don't know, 22.67. Yeah. Let me pull out the rock. Okay, magazine is seated all the way forward. Not picking it up, but it's shooting it. 22.62. 22.58. No problem shooting that at all. That's good to see. Let's do another 5 with that. And what's funny is I had problems with light primer strikes before, about a year ago, and it was all with the rock, and the M&P seemed to work a little better. Running just perfectly in that rock. We picked up maybe one more, so 22.58. So pretty good velocities out of these. Okay, I've got a few more loaded, and then I have some FN after this with the M&P again. 22.58. I don't know why this is not catching it, but there we go. 21.97. 22.18. Bright light primer strike. Here we go again. I used a mag. This is a known good mag. Now I'm going to follow it up with some FN ammo just to kind of throw this in. What I may do is close this group down. It's not waiting on this. So now what we have in here is some FN green tip. Runs just fine. It's the ammo. Well, next up we have this 37 grain frangible. Let's see how it does here with the M&P 5.7. Hopefully it works on this. 1990. 1968. 1927. 1981. And 2184. That's a big spread. Holy cow. Well, and I'm glad to see that's all running. But let's get a session summary on that. So our average was 2010, but we had an extreme spread of 257. That's huge. I mean, I like the loadings of this ammo, but that's big. That's huge. It's a big spread. 257. It's huge. I know, I just keep saying it's huge. Okay, well now we have the 35 grain frangible ammunition. So See how it does with the M&P. 1999.9. 2028. 2046. Must have missed that. Yeah, must have missed that too. No, 2046, it got that. Well, no, I only got 3. So, but hey, it shot all 3 of those. So I don't know what is up with that IS-1300. I had problems with light primer strikes on that before. Glad to see it's running in the rock, but I'm still having them occasionally with the M&P. Don't know what's going on. It seems to shoot other ammo just fine, so I don't know. Okay, we're at 7 yards. Let's see how we do with this IS-1300. I know we're going to get some light primer strikes, but I'm going to try to get 5 rounds into the target. Shot all 5 of those. I don't know what's going on with it. So I'm glad it shot those, but I'm not really trusting this round. Let's go on to the next one. All right, back at 7 yards again. We have that R37 this time. Let's see how it does. All right. Not saying that it's more accurate or less accurate. I just took my time a little bit more, and I didn't expect it to get light primer strikes, so that makes a difference. I have this 35 grain solid fracturing round. We'll see how it does. I'm going to aim way off. It looks like something weird is going on. Those rounds look like they're tumbling or falling apart, and we're getting 2 impacts. So it is not stable in this M&P. Let's go get the rock and see if we get any difference. Okay, now we have the rock, and now we have that R35 solid frangible. Try to shoot for a different part of the target so we can get pictures of keyholes in different places, or it'll stabilize it. Looks like it stabilizes it. Shoots it just fine out of the rock, which is interesting. Does not stabilize it out of the M&P 5.7. That's something to note. I don't know if it's just my M&P 5.7 or what. But let's wrap things up and talk about what we saw today. Okay, well, let's just do a quick wrap up. So we saw a fantastic performance from all 3 of these rounds. Well, really the 2 fracturing rounds. I just love how they performed in the gel. Seemed to be just like, you know, the bullet wounding paths seem to be fantastic. What I'm not seeing is super reliability. The R37 with this lot, I'm seeing that IS-13,000 or whatever it is. I had problems a year ago, and I seem to be having problems again. I really want companies like R&R Weapons Systems to be successful. I'll probably reach back out to the owner and manufacturer, let him have some input into this and see what's going on. I'm a little, maybe, you know, those other rounds, maybe he's just expecting those rounds to be shot out of a PS90, and you would get just a little bit more barrel length and a little bit more spiraling and stabilizing of those bullets. I've seen other rounds not stabilize, in particular subsonic rounds don't tend to stabilize in my pistols, but I've seen them stabilize out of people's PS90s. So it could be exactly that type of thing that's going on there. So let me know what you guys think. With 5.7, like, look, here's the challenge. Like, this is not going to take over 9mm. I get that. Right? You know, oh, I just use my 357 SIG. Okay, great. Right? It's a more powerful round. Absolutely. Where I think this has a great niche is when you have like 23 rounds in my PSA Rock, 22 rounds in my M&P 5.7. That's a lot in the magazines, and it's very light. It's not like you have some stendo and it's like carrying your pants down, right? This is very lightweight. You can carry a ton of ammunition in a small package. So for a prepper type scenario, for someone who is not tolerant to a lot of recoil, this is a better round than 380. The problem is the most of the manufacturers aren't doing it justice. So we have these other shops that have stepped up into the game, like R&R Weapons Systems, like Elite Ammunition, like Vanguard Outfitters, and they are building some great rounds with some fantastic types of bullets loaded into them that perform very well out of the 5.7 by 28. What we're not seeing, though, in my experience, is a lot of the reliability. I have had reliability issues with 2 or 3 of these different manufacturers. So let's hope. Hey, fair. I've also seen it with AAC from Palmetto State Armory. Their ammunition I've had tons of issues with. So FN, Fiocchi, I don't tend to have issues with. Hornady, I had a couple of malfunctions. Is it my gun? Is it that ammo? I have no idea. But this is different. I continue to have light primer strikes with this same manufacturer. I've had blown primers with other companies. So I think this is just a challenge that we're going up to. My hope and prayer for 2025 is that we start to get more and more stability from these manufacturers, more and more reliability, and then we get other big manufacturers coming in with some unique loadings that do this round justice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hope everyone has a great week, and let's get shooting.